All right, it's been like a minute. You can unmute the microphones. We can say hello. Welcome everybody to Portrayal. It's 7 o'clock. We're slamming and we're jamming. Howdy, everybody. Welcome. And welcome to my first attempt to experiment with the dual stream feature so that if you're watching this on YouTube Shorts, you get a vertical cropped stream. It's a thingy. Sorry, I'm gonna throw this one out there. Just got a very funny message from Axe about why he wasn't here at the stream start time. Which is, he said he had to figure out why his apartment kept smelling like broccoli. I will ask no further questions. I'm just going to leave you, the internet, with that one. And you guys figure it out. But, hello, welcome to stream. We're streaming Fail Portrayal. So I said last time that we'd be doing RDA-related stuff. We've already done the original block, or at least up to the, a couple years ago, support of Red Dragon Archfiend specifically, but there's a lot of support cards we didn't cover because we just did the 5Ds, the Dimension Dragons and stuff, and obviously all the Resonators. But there was news, and I decided to change to something more clickable that people would want to click on. Because first, before we switch to show you what we're actually going to be talking about today, I would like to, while we're on this stream starting screen, first apologize to everyone. Everybody out there, I'm terribly sorry to all of you that we did a Fiendsmith episode. That's my bad. I should have known. None of you wanted to see it. Which is the perfect transition to a visual gag. But yes, the Fiendsmith episode did terribly. I understand. I also am sick to death of seeing the Smith of Fiend. Yeah, the framing on that's pretty alright. Sorry, I'm looking at the dual feed. Again, that's my bad. I apologize. I was not familiar with your game. Yeah, that was the general crux of the episode. Aesthetically, Fiendsmith is cool, but Konami built the deck in the most annoying way possible, that it is literally a package you can put in anything. Even after you ban Closed Heaven, it still can be in any, lots of stuff. It's bad. Yeah, it's kind of like Adventure, but I feel like, at least with Adventure, the cards you actually saw were pretty limited. You usually just saw, Fateful, Water Enchantress, etc., and then, one of the token generator cards, Griffin Rider, usually, when it wasn't banned, because it went on the FL list in a couple of different formats, shit like that. You saw a very small Adventure package, usually, most of the time. Sometimes you got a little more into it, but especially as they started limiting those cards, it got shaved down. But for Fiendsmith, it's always the exact same cards, and it's always a lot of them. I'll put that one in my pocket. I'll put Evolzers in my pocket. We might do that on a poll, or I might just pull that out one randomly. We'll do Resonators next week. I'm sorry, that was me trying to think of my word. But yes, that was our... I don't apologize for the Crystal Beast thumbnail. I do apologize for doing an episode on Fiendsmith. I'm sorry. I think the Patreon poll's already doing a lot better now that Fiendsmith's out of there. But also, we have another thing to talk about. In addition to, obviously, I have this angle to be hitting. Let me switch my setup on that to... this one? Yeah. And I will temporarily hide the text. Let's see. Where are you guys going to be more legible? Let's switch sides for the chat. Chat window over there. Let us be blabbing abouten de banlisten. Because it's a new ban list. This will go in effect in about a week. But it's been announced well ahead of time. And this one had, just came out Monday, I think, and it's, shaking up the airwaves. it's a very fun list to talk about, and it'll be interesting. Because I'll say right now, some people are kind of like mixed. Obviously, there are some very good hits on this list, and then there are people who are like, some people are like, hey, where's the Cool Tune hits? Where I'm like, my guys, the brand new Cool Tune cards are literally going to have been legal for like 10 days by the time this list is legal. Konami never does that. Like, Cool Tune, no matter what anybody says, Cool Tune doesn't FTK you, and it can have some very annoying moves. But it's still a case of, like, getting out there and not like, you can't expect them to be, like, limiting Rosary right away, okay? Rotary. That's stupid. That's stupid of you. If you thought that, you're dumb. I'll say it. I'll say it, YouTube content creators. If you're like, where the Cool Tune hits, you were being a dummy. You forgot how the passage of time works because Cool Tune's been at, like, full power for, like, a month in Master Duel. Also, when talking about Cool Tune, like I said, it has some pretty interesting interactions that can be pretty bad. I think specifically, I understand why people say that hand knowledge is very strong, and obviously, TCG department thinks hand knowledge is very strong because you'll see right at the top there, first brand new banned card, Noroi, dead, shot dead in the street, even though that's not really that needed to curb K9. It's just that is a hand peek card. I have been playing Cool Tune for like a month in Master Duel, and Rotary's hand look ability is pretty good, but there are plenty of times when I look at somebody's hand and go, cool, this doesn't change anything. They didn't have Nib, or by the time I get to a Rotary, they would have thrown, their other hand traps already. And it's just like, cool. I know what they have, I guess, but unfortunately, I can't really change my Cool Tune end board in any way, You can't really do anything with it. The cards are the cards. I think Q is a much stronger card, but I also think some people, and by some people I mean exactly MBT, I think he's the only person I've actually seen a ban list react out of. But MBT is like, oh, Q gives you perfect knowledge of your draw. I mean, I haven't seen anybody react like I haven't. So
fair enough.
I don't know what YouTube channel you're subscribed to, but I've only seen MBT's reaction, actually. But he says that Q gives you perfect knowledge of your opponent's next draw. This is not true. You only have perfect knowledge if you put the card you don't banish back on the top of their deck. Which you might not do that because maybe you don't want them to draw that, at which point you do not have perfect knowledge. So it's if it's a bad card, you have perfect knowledge, but it's just one of those things where, like, information is very powerful in Yu-Gi-Oh!, and I think a lot of people in the tubing space, like the content creation space, are thinking about it in terms of higher level Yu-Gi-Oh!, where that kind of thing can be a real edge. I think for a lot of general gameplay, many players won't know what to do with that perfect information. And I'm pretty sure based on OCG results that I don't think it should be a tier 0 format. Like, I think right now, Cool Tune is getting like 20-25% of OCG tops. Like, it's not that crazy. But some people are whatchamacallit? Some people like are very negative about the Cool Tune format for reasons that I'm not kind of aware of. Like, it's one of those decks that I like everybody was like, oh man, the Malice matchup is miserable, and I'm like, I've played full power Malice for like weeks, and I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe I'm just too of a medium tier player, but okay, so it's about 22%. It was literally right between the middle there. Thank you. Elf Note's also going pretty good, though I've already seen some people trying some Cool Tune Elf Note lists. Because Synchro decks are very strong right now because of a card that just got released. But the FL list. So I already talked about K9 Noroi. Banned. Just banned. Killed him. This probably doesn't make or break K9 as a deck. It's just letting you know, hey, we understand you don't like hand-look cards. We, the TCG, cannot control when the OCG prints a card lets you look at your opponent's hand. But we're just going to let you know. We'll get rid of it later. Naturia Rose Whip. Which, let me make sure that's on the OBS screen. At least in the broadside. The FL list's not formatted for vertical, sorry. If anybody is actually watching this on the vertical feed. Oh my god, you can do Armades, Elf Node into... Oh, my fucking... Anyway, Natria Rose Whip. Natria Rose Whip is banned. This is a tuner. It says your opponent can only activate one spell or trap card per turn. It was a floodgate. You can summon it out with Cool Tune. They banned it. They banned it like last month or at the start of this month maybe. Some time ago in Master Duel. Good. Always sucks when you get those kind of like oddball effects. And quite frankly, Natria is a deck that kind of sucks ass because it's full of floodgates anyway. It's kind of like the old Ice Barrier stuff.
I mean, it literally is an evolution of the Ice Barrier. Like, design-wise.
Really? It's because Natria... Well, Natria is a hybrid. There is fusions, there is synchros. But also, the... Ice Barrier was really weird because, like, the synchro half and the floodgate half really didn't get together until I feel like exactly Dragon Lancia, which lets you summon the big-ass guys out of your deck. Like, I guess getting little guys on board to make synchro materials also works as tribute material for the big assholes, but that's not... People usually didn't play the deck that way, by which I mean people usually just played the synchro monsters and did something else in the main deck for a long time. Naturia flipped the switch a little and put more of their floodgatey type effects on that actually matter on their small guys and had very few big guys outside of their synchros. So I guess in that sense you can say that it is an improvement because Konami realized that nobody wanted to play Ice Barrier and they made it better, but I don't think they're that related other than just they were decks in the synchro period. But yeah, Natria sucks ass, actually. I see people who are still like, why is Sacred Tree at 1? And I'm like, who fucking cares? What is it? Is it a card you send to the graveyard you can search any plant? I don't even know what Sacred Tree does anymore. I don't care. All you Natrias, you're ticking time bombs. But let's keep scrolling on bans. Gimmick Puppet Fanatics Machinics. I believe that is the one that summons...
It was the burn one, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's the CXCs, but I think it was the one that summoned to your opponent's field. And then so you can burn them. Either way, this card was part of the Gimmick Puppet FTKs, which they did eliminate through various other means, but I believe it is also part of the combo which summons some things to your opponent's field. As we have noted, that is bad. Actually, that's a very bad mechanic. That was incredibly unthought out by Konami because it's never been future-proofed. So if every card that summons a card that you own to your opponent's field exists was banned, the game would probably be healthier. Literally only ever used for crimes. Oh my god, Tribute Sign Bamboo Shoot? Yeah, ugh. Yeah, no, the Gimmick Puppet stuff you could do some FDK things with. And that's it for bans, just 3. We have some limits. So, Cupsy Yummy is now limit 1, and Yummy Way is also limit 1 later in the list. Nobody really knows what the point of Yummy Way to 1 was. I guess they're just really trying to tell you to stop saying that. Cupsy Yummy is a good card. Being put to 1 probably means that Cupsy is in fact dead. You will finally stop playing Cupsy or Yummy decks without 3 Cupsy and only 1. Because here's the thing, gang. Yummy was already basically a dead deck because they put... Let me actually see if I can see it in here. Yeah, Yummy Snatchy's already at 1. They did that, like, last list, you know, like... yeah, it's going to be right about 3 months ago, because it was early February. But 1 Snatchy just meant that any technique which banishes or removes a monster from your extra deck, or your opponent gets your 1 Snatchy out of the way from like your graveyard or something, your whole deck is dead with 1 Snatchy. So you were already probably not playing Yummy, Now Cupsy 1, Yummy Way to 1 is like, yeah, you're not playing it. Fairy Tale Snow went back to 1. This is super funny because just a couple of days ago, I watched Jaxel's Everything You Need to Know About Blazing Dominion, which has all the new Fairy Tale support, and basically he was just like, yeah, it's really weird. I don't know how this deck does anything without Snow. You really want to play Snow, huh? Anyway, I guess you'll just figure out something else. And then, you know, like 2 or 3 days later, I think, maybe a day later, they were like, yeah, Snow to 1. I'm not a huge fan of this because Snow, Fairy Tale Snow, is an immensely annoying card. It is just such a game slower downer. It so annoyingly extends the game in very frustrating ways that you're just like, oh my god, I can't believe I haven't gotten rid of this fucking Snow yet, kind of a thing. I don't know if it's a good card. It will definitely make the new Fairy Tale stuff better. Support us on Patreon right now. The $5 and up level. You can vote for Fairy Tale as the new one. Lost switched his to Soul Jersey, but I still want to talk about Fairy Tale. So it's in the poll. Yeah, Snow to 1 makes the Fairy Tale stuff infinitely better, but also that just means there's a really annoying card you can play in decks again. So I guess we'll see if it does anything. White Rabbit to 1 from 2, with Dormouse also to 1, and one of their Link monsters banned. This is because despite the hits, I know people were like, oh, why did they hit another Malice card? It's because people didn't stop playing Malice. Malice got tops after the last list 3 months ago. Like, legitimately, people wouldn't stop playing Malice. So, like, the TCG is like, you will stop playing Malice. We will tier limit your deck if we have to. Everything to 1.
Yeah.
So, yes. Yeah, there's Yummy Way. Got a lot of action in the spell zone. Let me make sure that's all framed up on... Oh, no, one of those is not. Let me scroll up a little. Step 1, Branded Fusion, back to 1. Thank God. I mean, I know Draco Tail branded is, like, on the way out, but also, thank God. I can't believe they semi-limited Branded Fusion. I know it's, like, God's most ashable card, but also, like, holy shit, guys. It's so good. Branded Fusion is a fucking stupid good card, and I hate it. Get new tech. And we got a couple of others. So, next, let's see. Oh, was it not a... No, that was right. Snow was unbanned. I think they had a couple more. There it is. Okay, I couldn't read it. It was right next to each other. Metamorphosis unbanned. Premature Burial unbanned. This all makes sense. I believe that Genesis had both Metamorphosis and Premat available at points, but not restrictive amounts of them. And the OCGs had Metamorphosis for a while. Metamorphosis is a really interesting card because, like, technically it is a little risky. But quite frankly, Metamorphosis as an unsearchable one-of doesn't do anything that decks couldn't do already. You can Metamorphosis into Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, for instance, with lots of cards, but also the fucking Link 1 fusion that Dark Magician has. It's the something of chaos that I can never remember because they really can't branch out from the naming scheme, unfortunately. But the fusion that you tribute any spellcaster, that just becomes Dragoon anyway, so it truly didn't matter. You can already make it for, like, free as well. You can make Last Warrior, however, that also dead ends your combos because neither player can special summon, so, like, you could just play Pachydynecephala and then your opponent either scoops and goes to the side deck or just waits until they draw the out. Like, the odds that they can't get rid of your Last Warrior somehow before, you know, you have to get rid of it on your own so you can actually play the game is probably inconsequential. Premat's going to be interesting. It's been like it's way more searchable than Metal Force because it's an equip spell, right? You can get it out with shit like Power Tool. In Genesis, because it was pointed but not excessively pointed, people were playing it in Doomsy. So you probably don't need to be playing it in Doomsy now, but it's an interesting card to see back. And quite frankly, honestly, I find Premature Burial at 1 infinitely less annoying than Monster Reborn. Like, I don't know if I've said that, but I would rather have Premature Burial to 3 rather than any number of Monster Reborns in the format, but that's absolutely just me.
I don't know what to tell you there.
I just, like I said, I find Monster Reborn as a 1 of super annoying because it's both graveyards, so, like, if you do any form of interaction with your opponent, like you hand trap something important, they just Monster Reborn steal any monster, or they Monster Reborn a hand trap they used and they just get a free guy, and you usually can't do anything about it because you've, already spent your interaction. Premature, you gotta pay 8. Radiant Typhoon Chant to 1. This is a Radiant Typhoon card. We haven't really talked about Radiant Typhoon, so I can't comment to the greater Fail Betrayal verse about it, but Radiant Typhoon's been pretty free, and it's been a pretty accessible engine to tech into other stuff, so seeing some limits is not crazy. Rahu to 1, once again saying that we're trying to bring Draco Tail down. There was issues with Ketu, I think, was limited last time, or semi-limited, and they're like, okay, no, Rahu's the important one. So just paring down your options. Synchro Overtake is a Cool Tune hit. Synchro Overtake is a relatively new card that says that if you... Also, yeah, no, you needed Metamorphosis to summon Neo Bubble Man. He's back. He's free. And then they just made the new Clayman not need that. Anyway. Which card was it? What are we talking about, chat? Synchro Overtake. I should know this. Like I said, I play Cool Tune. Synchro Overtake, just... You show your opponent a Synchro monster. You summon a named monster on that out of your deck. So, it was just... If you had Synchro Overtake, you could freely special summon one of your Cool Tunes without... namely... Clip, Mix, or Rico, without needing to commit at all. And the deck already has, like, especially with Rotary being added recently in the most recent set, the deck has loads of times it doesn't need to commit, so... it's funny that like, Cool Tune ended up being so normal summon heavy. That's a deck where you can normal summon, like, 3 times in a turn. We're not to like Fluanderee's levels, but yeah. So Synchro Overtake was a really good card to get out some of your pieces and basically kickstart without actually using anything else in your hand because it's summoned from deck. And it is also searchable with the card which you already were playing, called Duelist Genesis, which is just if you have a tuner on your field or in your graveyard, you can add a spell card that has Synchro in its name, and Cool Tune Synchro is their in-archetype quick play, so now you just change the ratios and you're probably fine. But it does kind of, like, make some of their plays a little less free, Duelist Genesis does have to add, so that's able to be ashed. You can, draw in Lockbird after it, etc. So you might be able to set up some stuff to stop them. Or not. And then the only thing new is the semi-limited list. No new unhits. The semi-hits are just, we're putting Draco Arthalion to 2 and Draco Tail Lucius to 2. With Rahu to 1 already, and I'm pretty sure... Yeah, Ketu was already at 1. You're now 1-1 on the fusion spell anyway, so, like, I don't really know, like... I don't even know if you were playing fucking 3 Arthalion. I guess you could. It's a very loopable card. But you could just play 2, gang? I don't really know what they're thinking about that one. But I feel like they're just shotgunning Draco Tail because they're like, we need you to stop playing Draco Tail. Play other decks. And so, like, in a sense of, like, I don't really know, like, if there was a problem deck in the meta. Like, there are, as usual, floodgates. I know some people did complain that DeFi Dimension Fissure wasn't hit at all. That kind of a thing. Like, there are still those sorts of cards out there. Snow could be problematic, but is not necessarily gonna be. Like, we'll see if people are playing it the same way. But, yeah. This is a case where, like... It's a weird case where people seem unhappy with the upcoming format. Again, for reasons I'm not 100% sure, because, like, I don't even think Cool Tune is, like, that dominant. I guess it's just the feels bad man of, like, you might get an extra deck rip you can't afford, or, you might get an important card banished off the top of your deck. Which does suck, but also, I don't know, play decks that are a little loosey-gooseier, Maybe that's why people... sorry. I should qualify this is going to be a joke. I was going to say, maybe people are mad at Cool Tune. They hate us because they ain't us. Cool Tune's such a weird deck in the way it's structured. Like, you'd think you'd load up on, like, weird little synchro tuners, but there's no fucking non-tuners in the deck, so you can't even make normal synchro monsters. I don't have anything to put in my Cool Tune extra deck but, like, multiple copies of the synchros. There's literally no reason not to play a couple of everything, because I can't... I think I have, like, one... not Junk Speeder, the other Junk... Is it Junk Connector? The other, like, synchro link. And there's no, like... You're synchro locked all the time. There's no other reason to put shit in there.
I don't know what to say there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those things where, like... actually, I should also say another thing. Crackle is the new synchro monster that got released. That's the upgraded form of Clip. If you don't know, because I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure, even though this has been out on Master Duel, were you there when we did the Cool Tune episode? You were probably there for part of it.
I was probably there for, like, the beginning.
Crackle, so Clip says when send a synchro material, randomly banish a card from your opponent's extra deck. Its synchro form, Crackle, lets you look at your opponent's extra deck and banish one card, and also gain its attack, but it's only until the end of the turn. So, it can disrupt your opponent's plays, but you have to be, like, in a setup where you can summon it on your opponent's turn to catch them midway. And I have done that several times and just been like, well, my opponent has, like, 9 million annoying cards in their extra deck that they can just keep making. So, like, not every deck has a one-of choke point you can hit. It does banish 2 when you remove it from the field, and it summons itself back. It doesn't get attack points then, but it does, like, it can hypothetically fish, like, 3 cards out of your extra deck until the end of the turn. But it's not permanent, so it's not like, where we're, what's his fucking name? Bleploop, the mind hacker.
Diabolic? It was like...
Actually, I can, hold on. I still got the tab open. I can fucking find him. Diabolicis, the mind hacker. Number 89, by the way. Yeah, like that guy combined with Kashtira meant that, like, you were just banishing, 5 or 6 cards face down out of your opponent's extra decks and shit, like that. Like, it's annoying, but it's not as annoying as Kashtira Unicorn, which is a card you can still... Let me scroll up in the ban list. I think that's gonna be... Oh, I don't see it in the ban list in the limit section. So I don't think Unicorn is banned. I think it's just... Yeah, it's just a Rise Heart that's banned. So yeah, like, technically in the TCG right now, you can play fucking 3 Kashtira Unicorn. So, like, that's forever. If I'll phrase it this way: if Crackle and or Clip is a problem, then you should also, like, not just be upset that, like, Cool Tune can play it, but also, you could play a Kashtira engine. Shit, actually, Unicorn's a 7, right? What are the qualifications for Metamorphosis? Does it have to be the same level? Could you Kashtira Unicorn and then in main phase 2 Metamorphoses it into fucking Last Warrior?
No, because Last Warrior has to be someone exactly by its materials.
Nope. You can metamorphosis into Last Warrior.
Oh, okay. I guess I just only remember it from like certain periods, I guess.
I mean, metamorphosis has been banned for many, 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 many years. So like, I think it was only ever useful for making Last Warrior. Yeah, no, because Last Warrior is too high level to like instant fusion out. So I should say this. I forgot to mention this earlier. The primary trick with metamorphosis these days is just any level 1 can become like Millenniumize Restrict, which is like kind of a called by. It's unsearchable and it does put you down in card advantage, and you have to be playing like level 1s to make it work. So it's probably not worth it. If this card's special, destroy all other monsters you control. Another player can special. Yeah, it's not restricted at all. So it's just that because it requires 2 use. Well, I shouldn't say that about Zombira. Zombira was a fucking champ in our prog series for like 4 weeks in a row, I think, before we finally got better beaters. Mario Kutai is like a nothing card. So like you weren't making it the fusion way. So metamorphosizing it might be troublesome, or it might not. But we've been going for a little bit. I'm going to deafen the stream side for a second and hop out. I'll be right back. I gotta take a little break ski. And then we'll talk about new cards, a Pog Champ. So be right back, gang. And I'll leave you with the gone fishing. There's the word. So, be right back. Okay, gang. Apologize if I'm a little, out of it with the heat. Let's switch some screens. And unmute deafen in Discord. And let us begin talking about, first of all, brand new set. We returned to form with Chaos Origins in the OCG with Yami Yugi Atem on the cover, and now we know the next core set coming out in the OCG is Beyond the Brave, and it has Joey on the cover. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if they've ever done that for a core set, but that's a neat angle to be taking. Here, actually, I can. Show you the pack art even. But yes, and they've announced they are doing a new set of Joey cards. Kind of doing the same thing they did with the latest batch of the Chaos guys to represent a lot of Yugi's classic monsters, and even possibly a little bit like the previous Shining Sark set they did for Yugi as well. Unfortunately, I have read these cards before, and I concur with a lot of people's assessment that I think Konami's heart's in the right place. If you don't know, and I don't know why exactly they're doing this now, but Konami has been doing a couple of things Yu-Gi-Oh related, kind of also related to Kazuki Takahashi's legacy. I believe there's a new art book coming out, and they are also doing a collection of card printings, either ones that were already based on manga panels or maybe cards that are manga rares, basically, like they're going to look like out of the manga, which is pretty neat. So the idea of this new build of the deck is based around something that I believe was not shown in the manga, but that Kaz did talk about in like interviews and data books, which is in the story after Battle City, Joey and Yugi have a duel, and Joey wins, and according to Takahashi, Joey won with Time Wizard. But that wasn't shown on screen. So that's kind of seems to be the core theme of what they're going for with this archetype, which is cool. I like the idea. The problem is that it's based around Time Wizard and coin flips. So, like, I haven't had a chance to test it. Like, listen, I'll say it. When this comes to Master Duel, I'll rock it. I'll try this shit out. I'll build
Honestly, what they should do is... How much this would break the game if they literally just did the thing of your next 3 coin flips are exactly the same.
I mean, you can already second coin toss, and they already have abilities like for Arcana Force. You can already just pick. Maybe it always forces heads, which can actually fuck you over. So I don't know, but there's tech cards. And there's enough of these guys that we might be able to get a little bit of a shell. Like, I might try and combo these with the Metal Morph cards, which are also pretty good. It's just there's not enough of them to make, like, a deck. So, We'll see. There are some good cards in here. It's just, like I said, they're kind of fundamentally based around... Actually, let me grab that one first. I was going to do the monsters, but actually, we'll grab the big one. The Time Wizardly himself. Which also, by the way, fun, is a spell card now, which was how he was originally presented in the manga. So, like, again, they're doing cool stuff, but fundamentally there are issues. I think this is still, like, really cool, because, this card, Dark Time Wizard, shows, like, a bunch of different cards in it. Like, I think you got, like, Proton Blast. You've got, like, Red Eye Soul, Bark of Anubis, Sea Stealth Attack, shit like that. Like, you got real neat ideas in there.
I was all the innards, but more gears.
Yeah, I think he looks roughly the same.
He's got no innards. Did he have gears on his legs? Like, on his limbs? I think the staff's a bit different.
I'll just Google Time Wizard. We'll see. Yeah, no, he's basically the same.
Oh, okay.
I can grab him even if we want to do a side by side. But, sorry, excuse me. The main thing is just they changed his color scheme a little to probably what's more of the manga color scheme. Like more simple flat colors and less of like the blue and yellow.
Okay, I always thought he had innards, but I guess it is more just the back of the cloak had a yellow bottom.
No, it's I don't know. I don't know if he's really supposed to be.
Because, like, I think in the anime, I remember he had a physical center body, and the face was on the clock, and not just like.
I think that's what I'm saying, right? Is that like I don't saying innards seems a little odd. I guess that is the correct word for our clock, but I think the idea we're getting here is that in the manga he was supposed to be transparent, and the anime, rather than have to draw transparency frames, they filled him in with opaque colors, which kind of look like his cloak behind him. And so it kind of looks like he has a little face in there.
we did
Actually, I
Yu-Gi-Oh!
mean, yeah,
We
it's
go
been
Yu-Gi-Oh!
we've been doing
We did like
Fail
we
Portrayal
did a
for
prog
years.
series every Wednesday for like years back, and now we do this
Yeah,
every
that was
Tuesday.
a long time too. Yeah, no, we do
I
the
just-
Yu-Gi-Oh stuff for a while. You know, you never know when somebody catches the show. Like I said, the click and the stream and the showing. That's why we're trying the dual stream. But yeah, so yeah, I think the thing is that in the original manga, Time Wizard was intended to be like transparent inside, and then the anime filled him in because that's a lot easier to draw a consistent background than a transparency all the time. And his staff is slightly different. They did redesign it a little, but other than like his color scheme, it's mostly the same guy. So, what this guy be doing is... Sorry, wrong tab. I have a second tab up for Destiny Heroes. Also, yeah, by the way, if you're watching this VOD or you're watching this stream live, there should be links to the Fail Betrayal playlist. So you can go all the way back to the beginning where we started talking about E-Hero. Anyway, Dark Time Wizard is a quick play spell. It says activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect of this card's name once per turn. Either you can add a card that mentions Dark Time Wizard to your deck from your hand, or from your deck to your hand, except Dark Time Wizard itself. And then also, during the end phase of this turn, you can add a Dark Time Wizard from your graveyard to your hand. Or, toss a coin and call it. If you call it right, destroy as many monsters your opponent controls as possible. If you do inflict damage equal to half those monsters' total original attack. If you call it wrong, destroy all monsters you control. So, gang, this card is pretty okay. You can use each effect, so you can use it to search, it returns itself, etc. There's a fundamental problem with this deck that I don't know what Konami was thinking. This is a deck that has a potential big downside of blowing up all your monsters possibly if you fuck it up, which you may be setting this as a quick play if you're going first. I'm going to reread these cards again to be sure, but I am reasonably certain none of these guys have floating effects for if they're blown up by your own Time Wizard, which seems like a horrible chance to just fuck yourself over. If you just fuck up the coin flip, you die, basically. Which, like, yeah, okay, that's fair. That's very Joey-coded. But that's still, like, really frustrating to be that, like, there are going to be times when you're going to flip up Dark Time Wizard and you're just going to have to fucking pray that you're doing good. Also, I should say, there's, what, 1, 2, 3, 4... 5-ish monsters, technically, and a couple of traps, and a couple of spells besides Dark Time Wizard, so it's a decent package, but I believe they said that in Chaos Origins, they're going to try and make sets a little more comprehensive, so there may be a couple of these we haven't seen yet, but right now it's a pretty loosey-goosey skeletony.
Keep going.
Yeah, no, I was reading chat. We'll come to the spell cards in a second. You're kind of right, but also there's problems with that in your zones.
We'll get to it, I guess.
Yes, we'll get to it. There's a scapegoat retrain later, basically. First, though, we're gonna start at the top with the monsters. This is Swift Panther Warrior retrain. You know,
is it normal
conjuring
now?
some manga panels. I mean, it was already Panther Warrior was always normal summonable. Remember, Panther Warrior was you have to tribute another monster to attack.
Right.
With a 2k beater. So
it's the same stat line, I forget.
Yeah, same stat line. It's a level 4
Okay.
Earth Beast Warrior, 2k attack, 1600 defense. That was the original Panther Warrior's stats. So this card has 2 effects, one of which can only be done once per turn. During the main phase, quick effect, you contribute one other monster from your hand or field, then activate one of these effects. Special summon a monster that mentions Dark Time Wizard from your hand or deck, except Panther Warrior. Send a spell trap that mentions Dark Time Wizard from your deck to the graveyard. Cannot declare attacks unless a monster was tributed this turn. So it still has the attack restriction, but now it doesn't specifically have to tribute a monster on attack declaration, just so long as a monster was tributed. So there's probably room for some, kaiju mix-ups in here, trying to do some Monarch Stormforth stuff maybe. You know, there may be some room for you to actually play with this. But for now, it's just a a extender. It gets a guy from hand or deck, or it bins one of your spells. Actually, is it spell or spell trap? Spell trap, yeah. Okay. So you can foolish some stuff. Next, this is very funny because this is a case where they turned this from being a fusion into just a guy. This is Alligator Sword Dragon Knight.
I think it's the best because it's like, how do I put this? Some of these fusions are so weird because it's like, I really don't know like what fucking Gen 0/Gen 1 Yu-Gi-Oh really was like. Because it just feels like such a different kind of game of nothing.
I mean, Alligator Sword Dragon did have like effects, like it did stuff. I kind of getting the idea that like, you can combo Baby Dragon a couple different ways, but it was still a fusion monster of like 2 useless vanillas to make an effect. So combining them into one card works. This is a level 5 Dragon Wind effect monster, 1700 attack, 1500 defense. You can use each effect once per turn. Number 1, if this card's in your hand, you can reveal one other card in your hand that mentions Dark Time Wizard. Special summon this card, so it is a free summon. If this card is normaled or specialed, add up to 2 spell traps with different names from each other that mention Dark Time Wizard from your deck to your hand. Then discard 1 card. That's a pretty decent effect. Thrieve, this card can attack directly. So kind of giving you some interesting opportunities. It still keeps its direct attack ability. It's effectively a free summon in a deck where presumably most of your guys are going to mention Dark Time Wizard, and it lets you add 2, bin 1. Actually, now that I'm thinking about this definitely has to have probably a couple more cards they haven't shown off yet. You'll see why in a second, because first, we're finally doing it, chat. We're bringing things together, which means, by the way, this probably means that the Guiltia Retrain has a place in this deck. Actually, wait, no. Is he specifically level 6 Dark Machine? Anyway, this is Psycho Energy Shocker Jinzo Ningen. Jinzo Energy Shocker. He's a level 7 Dark Machine effect monster because, remember...
What?
Yeah, Jinzo Ningen. Jinzo's full name is Jinzo Ningen, which just means, like, cyborg.
Oh, right, because robot human. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's just robot human. They called him just Jinzo in the dub for some reason. But yeah, Jinzo Energy Shocker is a level 7 Dark Machine because in the manga, he was supposed to be level 7. The anime made him level 6 1 tribute for some unknown reason. Same stats as normal for Jinzo. I mean, arguably being 1 tribute's better, but it's just funny. 2400 attack, 1500 defense. You can only use this card's 2 effects per turn. Number 1, this card's name becomes Jinzo while on the field or graveyard, so technically if there were any cool Jinzo support cards, you could play them with him. 2, if this card's normaled or special summoned, destroy all traps your opponent controls. If a card is set, reveal it. This card then gains 300 attack for each card destroyed this way, and your opponent cannot activate trap cards or effects while you have another monster in your field or graveyard that mentions Dark Time Wizard. So yeah, it is a one-sided Jinsler that also blows up your opponent's back row, and if it's not a trap card, you get to look at it. And then he does become Jinzo, so there is some interesting comparison here. He does not have an inherent special summon clause, though, so you probably need to, wambo-cambo him with something like Panther Warrior. But still, a good effort for being, whatchamacallit, having them go for that. Also, yes, actually, like, what this deck I think really needs is, if there's a way to do it, is what you need is a turn 0 play to, like, get Panther Warrior on the field, and then tribute another card in your hand to summon Jinzo on your opponent's turn, like, probably during their end phase or something. Or it might be main phase only. When they end main phase, just blow up their board. Be like, your traps? You don't have any traps. But yeah, Jinzo is one to look out for. Speaking of a case of a level adjustment that I think went good the other way, we also have... They did it. They made the Legendary Fisherman 4. Except, his name is Taikai no Densetsu Fisherman. Fisherman Legend of the Sea. So he's not actually the Legendary Fisherman. This guy is now level 4. I do.
I
actually
guess
think
they.
that
I hope
means
they do translate it to Fisherman Legend of the Sea.
I do hope they do that as well. That's cool. So I said they probably will have another card to reveal later. This is our
Because
last
otherwise,
effect monster.
otherwise it'd be really funny if we do the one-sided thing of being like, it is Legendary Fisherman of the Sea, and it's like, I don't think you're supposed to do that one.
Yeah. The reason why I'm saying there are probably more cards, you'll notice there's no Insect Queen in this list. This is our last main deck card, so that would probably be an opportunity to continue this engine a little longer, and flesh it out a little bit. I said earlier, I think that means, you can run Guiltia, but actually I think the new Guiltia Retrain specifically is only level...
5s?
It's level 5 Water Warrior, level 6 Dark Machine, level 7 Dark Dragon, I think. If it's any Water Warrior, Dark Machine, or Dark Dragon that's level 5 or higher, it's probably got some use, but unfortunately that does seem to be a case where they may have fuckled themselves out of an obvious wombo combo. Because again, there's only 4 main deck monsters. You gotta play something else with this. I am not playing 3 copies of Jinzo Energy Shocker, because that guy is kind of a brick. Like, that's a 1 of you, maybe a 2 of, so you have them lying around so you can, like, tribute them off Panther Warrior. But, yeah. I think there's some space here. Legend of the Sea here is a level 4 Water Warrior, 1850 attack, 1600 defense. Again, has cards named 1 or 2. You can use each effect once per turn. If your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, or when their monster declares an attack, add Umi. And Umi or a card that mentions Dark Wizard, Time Wizard on the field, other than Fisherman. Special summon this card from your hand. So it does have Umi synergy. Or you just have another guy on board. If this card special summon target opponent, a monster opponent controls, destroy it. Return this card on the field to the hand during the end phase of this turn. So he has basically built-in Sea Stealth. If Umi's on the field, or if you have a Dark Time Wizard guy, you can, in fact, fire him off. So this seems to be an interesting case where, like, the Umi Sea Stealth deck doesn't really need new support, but since this is a Legendary Fisherman, you could play it in your Umi deck as just a guy who can be summoned and pop an opponent's monster while you have an Umi on board. Same with, like, technically you can play Jinzo Ninga and Energy Shocker in a Jinzo deck because he is a level 7 Dark Machine that counts as Jinzo. Do you want to do that? But you can. But also you can play them with Dark Time Wizard. And this was the thumbnail, but I'm gonna pull it up anyway. We have 1 new extra deck monster. And I will say this will be a great card to chase down. The big boy himself. That's right, our boy. My number one son. It's because it's a fusion monster, so.
Well, what I'm saying though is that it has 1,000. It has 1,000 attack and defense above its normal self.
I do believe it is supposed to be juiced up, yes. But we have an overframe Red Eyes. Red Eyes Black Dragon Exceed. Not Exceed. Exceed. This is a level 9 Dark Dragon fusion effect monster. So yes, it is meant to be a powered up one. I don't know if the idea is that this is like if you aged up Red Eyes. I don't know.
I feel like I guess they could call it Ancient Red Eyes Dragon or Red Eyes, or they could just call it Exceeder Red Eyes.
Well, no, you want it to be Red Eyes Black Dragon Exceed, because then it's a Red Eyes Black Dragon monster that's also got a different subtitle. You want to be careful about your grammar.
There, I'm just thinking about like how they would translate it differently because they always seem like they're not willing to just directly do it ever.
I mean, I think its name is pretty. This is just plain English, so. I don't know if they got to worry about the time, but we have the B is no longer censored in Red Eyes, so we can say it. Anyway, Dark Dragon Fusion monster, as we noted, 3,400 attack, 3k defense. Red Eyes Black Dragon plus 1 monster that mentions Dark Time Wizard. So hypothetically, you are playing Red Eyes Black Dragon in this deck, and it is Red Eyes fusionable. Not that you should want to be playing Red Eyes Fusion in the year 2026, but you could. Now, here's the cool part. The thing that, again, I read out these 4 guys, and it's like, it's an okay engine. Panther Warrior summons a guy from hand or deck, which can turn into something very interesting. Alligator Sword Knight is your Searcher starter, and you can extend. Jinzo blows up back row and prevents traps from being activated. Fisherman pops a monster, on resolve. Those are okay forms of interaction, but they're not a full-ass deck. But Dragon Exceed might be something. Like I said, we'll have to see if they have more support. So, the effects are thus. Must either be fusion summoned or special summoned from your extra deck by attributing one face-up monster on either field during a turn a monster was destroyed by the effects of Dark Time Wizard. You can only special summon Red Eyes Black Dragon Exceed once per turn this way, no matter which method you use. So, this seems to be the only consolation to if you activate Dark Time Wizard on your turn and blow up your board, is if your opponent still has monsters left, you can basically kaiju them for free. Alternatively, if your opponent floats any guys after you blow them up, or if they have any indestructible monsters after you coin flip Dark Time Wizard, you can again tribute them off. If this card is special summoned, you can special summon one level 8 or lower monster from your hand or graveyard. So that basically fetches the entire archetype. That can get Jinzo out of your hand or graveyard. That can fetch, obviously, vanilla Red Eyes if you wanted to do anything with that. This is a Red Eyes monster, so you could hypothetically play cards that interact with that, like Red Eyes Spirit to summon him back, shit like that. Play Red Eyes Burn, so if your opponent actually domes it, they get blasted pretty hard. And 2, this card is unaffected by your opponent's activated monster or spell effects. So it's kind of metamorphed. It's not a Red Eyes Metal Dragon, but it's kind of metamorphed. It's protected from things. So you have a decent payoff. You have a built-in kaiju. This monster is really easy to fusion summon in archetype. You can just play Poly. You could play Red Eyes Fusion, if you wanted to set it up. It is a 3400 attacker that is unaffected by most effects. And obviously, you can't do it under Red Eyes Fusion because Red Eyes Fusion is a terrible card. Maybe they will introduce a new fusion spell later. But if you just polymerization this guy, right, and you use, say, Jinzo, you can then immediately special summon new Jinzo back, so your opponent's trap cards are turned off, because this card mentions Dark Time Wizard. So that means that he's basically protected. It's a baby masterpiece. So it's a decent payoff. It's probably the best Red Eyes has gotten in a boss monster that is actually requires Red Eyes Black Dragon, unlike the way Dark Dragoon is structured, in a long time. And hypothetically, if you're already playing Poly so you can hard summon this guy, Fisherman Legend of the Sea is a warrior, so you could make, what's-his-face, Slash Dragon. Alligator Sword Dragonite is a level 5 or higher dragon effect monster, so that works for other Red Eyes fusions. There's some synergy. You don't have a fully freshed out extra deck, so you have option to play Red Eyes stuff. Like I said, I will probably try and make this deck work, and we'll probably try and tech in some Metal Morph stuff, if only just so that you can do something where say we fusion summon Black Dragon Exceed, summon back vanilla Red Eyes, activate a Metal Morph to transform vanilla Red Eyes into a new guy, just into full metal. It's a whole thing. So there's options here. I do really want to see though if they include an Insect Queen in here, just because they only 4 main deck monsters, gang. That's I always get skeptical when you have so few main deck monsters. It's tough to build decks that way. But we got a couple of other retrains. They remembered this guy, and they did the thing that I think we all knew they would do. Tenshi to Akuma to Saikoro. Graceful Skull Dice. It's both at once. Roll a 6-sided... This is a quick play spell, I should say. Roll a 6-sided die twice. Apply these effects in sequence for the rest of this turn. Monsters you control that mention Dark Time Wizard gain attack defense equal to the total rolled times 200. So, you can get as much as 1,200 up. All monsters your opponent controls will lose attack defense equal to the total times 200. So I do believe that means that for the rest of this turn, that's just applied. They any monsters they add will get the minus. Additionally, if your opponent normal or special summons a monster while this card's in your graveyard, banish this card, target one of those monsters, roll a 6-sided die twice. If you roll a 6 or higher, destroy that monster. So this gives you a reason to put these guys in your grab yard. You can just discard Skull Dice off of, Alligator Knight's Search Effect. Panther Warrior contribute a guy to just ban a spell card if you don't need any monsters. So you can just Foolish Burial this. And I don't know if you know this, gang, but the most likely number to roll on 2d6 is 7. So 6 or higher is pretty good. That's a pretty good spread of numbers that will destroy their monster that gets normal or specialed. So that does give you an interesting form of interruption. It's funny, but it is still just like a very oddball spell to include. Like, it is an attack modulation that only gets as high as, 1,200 for you and 1,200 for your opponent. So, a 24 spread. Could be better, could be worse. So this is the card we mentioned earlier. We got a Scapegoat retrain. This is Sleeping Scapegoats. Quick play spell card. So this says special summon up to 4 Scapegoat tokens. Beast, Earth, level 1s, 0/0 in defense position. Then, if your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon 1 Swift Panther Warrior from your deck, and for the rest of this turn, these tokens can't be tributed for a tribute summon, and you can't special summon from the extra deck except fusions. So they realized the problems with OG Scapegoat. And then, if a card you control that mentions Dark Timers would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy one of your tokens summoned this way instead. So yes, this would protect you if you bobbled a Dark Time Wizard roll once it's in your graveyard. So you can just... So here's the thing. You have to destroy one of your tokens summoned this way. So, unlike, say, Fury of Karyushin and other shit like that, you have to activate Sleeping Scapegoats, give yourself the extra deck lock to just fusion monsters, and then banish it from your graveyard. You cannot just send it to graveyard and protect your guys. So, depending on what your opponent is doing, they might be able to get rid of your little guys or force you to activate it. It does protect, but I don't like it. I don't like the protection. You have to blow up a token instead and go through all these things. And it's a really weird case where, this is a starter, but it's a weird starter. It's a starter where, this could be your first card. You summon 4 tokens if you want, I guess. And then you just summon, Panther Warrior? Or maybe you only summon 1 token, but then I feel like you're wasting the spell because you're only summoning 1 token and then you only get the destroy. I guess it is a permanent effect. It's not a graveyard effect at all. So you could summon 2 and keep them around. It's weird. It's another card that has a lot of fidgety circumstances where you're gonna feel bad activating this card or not using it correctly. So it's an interesting one, and you will get some out of it. And if nothing else, so you do get to instantly summon out a 5th guy. You could just set this as usual and flip it out like Scapegoats and just summon 5 basically, and be like, you will not kill me this turn. I have 5 guys. But it's just an odd one. Maybe you go for 3 if your opponent completely blanks your board, so that you can do Panther Warrior, Tribute 1. Actually, no, you could do 4. You'd have a free slot. You'd do Summon 4, summon Panther Warrior in the 5th slot. Panther Warrior quick effect, tribute 1, summon Jinzo. Jinzo blows up back row and becomes large. I don't know. There's plays, but like I said, it's very fiddly. It's very finicky. And, of course, being Joey, we do have a couple of trap cards, which you are not restricted from playing. You can play trap cards to your heart's content in this deck. Jinzo only blocks your opponent's spells or traps. First, we have Foolish Grave Robber, normal trap card. You're going to use the first and second effects of this card once per turn. Effect number 1, send a card that mentions Dark Time Wizard from your deck to graveyard, except Foolish Graveyard. Special summon a monster from either graveyard to your field. Banish this card from your graveyard. Set one of these cards to your field. Either set a spell trap in your graveyard that mentions Dark Time Wizard except Foolish Grave Robber, or a spell trap in your opponent's graveyard. This is a good card. By the way, these are it's one of those cards that you're going to use each effect once per turn, not only one that turn. So this is a great card to Foolish Burial because it lets you steal spell traps out of your opponent's graveyard if you need them. It also lets you, if you Foolish it and you don't, like if you already have spent a Dark Time Wizard, it lets you set Dark Time Wizard back to your back row. And then its ability to steal opponent's cards can be... This can be a very useful card to set because that's basically a DD Crow, you know? To steal a card out of your opponent's graveyard. So this is a good trap card. The problem is that it's a trap card, and one thing you'll notice again, chat, I want to say, part of the reason also why this deck makes me kind of these cards make me kind of trepidatious is this is a deck that doesn't really know if it's going first or second. Dark Time Wizard doesn't really do anything if your opponent doesn't have any board to blow up. So, you can set up, but it doesn't really have turn 0 play, so it's not like it plays through interruptions very well. So, I guess the idea is to, half set up on your turn, and then hopefully you can, blow up your opponent with a Dark Time Wizard and go into Exceed, but it's a weird one. But Grave Robber is a good card that you should definitely be playing in this deck, and it's good to Foolish Burial. And then, of course, the champ, we had to bring back a Joey staple. It's a Fairy Box Retrain. This one is just called Reversal Box. No, this is a great little art. So, Reversal Box is a continuous trap card that says, first of all, once per turn during the standby phase, roll a 6-sided die, place counters on this card equal to the result, max 6. Once per battle, if an opponent's monster attacks during damage calc, or when a monster effect is activated on your opponent's field, remove one counter from this card, target one of those monsters, toss a coin, call it. If you call it right, special summon one monster that mentions Dark Time Wizard from your deck, and if you do, until the end of this turn, change the targeted monster's attack to 0, and its effects are negated.
I just noticed that
yeah,
the Lizard Sword just has the same flesh designs as an Namekian.
He does actually. Yeah, he's got the little bits, little muscles. I guess Kaz was taking a note there. I love this card because this card is annoying as fuck. This is not once per turn. This is just how good are you at rolling dice, chat? If you roll the hard 6 every standby phase, you can just have 6 counters. This could hypothetically be 6 negates. You can just keep coin flipping and negating your opponent's effects and zeroing them out. It also protects you from attacks as well. It's one of those things that's very interesting. It is a little tricky because you basically have to flip this face up in the draw phase or the standby phase so you have tokens. So, if your opponent has any targeted hate, I don't know, an entire deck built around Mystic Space Typhoon, they can just get rid of it way before it becomes a problem. But it still means that they have to waste removal on a card that, could be doing nothing because you have to coin flip. But this is absolutely a card that your opponent's going to go, oh, they have to coin flip to activate this. There's no way. And then you're going to call it right, 3 times in a row, and they're going to get so many negates, and they're going to be so mad. So I love Reversal Box for that. I'm pretty sure that you just have to tech second coin toss into this deck right now and just pray. Like, pray you draw it, because I don't think... Let me actually check the phrasing of Light Barrier. Because I think Light Barrier is only for Arcana Forces. Yeah, when you summon an Arcana Force monster, choose which effect to apply without tossing a coin. So, we do have precedent for just effects that let you choose which coin toss to apply, because they're heads or tails, but not to automatically call it right. I think there are other abilities to manipulate coin flips in Arcana Force these days, but yeah, it's one. I would be interested to see as well, because second coin toss is one of those cards that's a little weird. A lot of decks like it for playing coin flip effects, but you have to hard draw it, like Origami Goddess. Should you play Origami Goddess in this deck? You might. That's like, she's a very funny card. Let me grab Origami Goddess real quick, gang. Just because it's a really funny card. But like I said, actually, where is the... Let me go to the Wikipedias as well, and let me check the serial numbers as well in Beyond the Brave, because I want to see if there's free slots. An Insect Queen retrain wouldn't be crazy. Insect Queen is another card that, like, normally requires tributing of monsters to do stuff, so I think she would actually have synergy with the Scapegoats and the Panther Warrior and stuff. I spelled that wrong. It's origami. Make sure I'm spelling it right. But, yeah, no. And so, like, there's room for some stuff. There's also Rocket Warriors visible in Reversal Box, but there's not a Rocket Warrior retrain. That could be another thing. So, like, there's room for a few extra cards to get in here, but I don't know what they would be. While I go look up the serial numbers, take a look at Origami Goddess. She's a level 1 Dark Fairy. It says, once returned during your main phase, you can toss a coin until the result is heads. If you do, draw 1 card for every 2 heads. And then every time you resolve a coin tossing effect while this monster's on the field, double this card's attack for each heads. So you might play Origami Goddess in the Dark Time Wizard deck just to be funny.
There's a possibility.
I mean, you know, if you roll, you get enough heads, you can draw 2. That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't realize you have several of them. Yes, so currently, I don't think there's any more extra deck monsters, because after Black Dragon Exceed, there is one of the cards we're going to talk about later, because there's new Destiny Hero support in this. Which, by the way, funnily enough, the Destiny Hero support is crazy. Like, that shit's real good. The Joey stuff is neat, but, like, really comes down to just, you're going to have to roll high on dice, and you're going to have to call coin flips correctly, and there's nothing you can do about it right now. But Panther Warrior is serial number 1, Fisherman serial number 4, and then there's a big gap before we get to the Destiny Hero stuff. That's in, like, the low 20s. So we could be concealing a couple of extra cards in here, like I said. I wouldn't mind seeing a Rocket Warrior retrain, maybe a Swordsman of Landstar retrain, and if they're doing this thing, which is like, this is the wombo combo of Joey's Battle City deck, I believe there should be an Insect Queen in there.
I mean, to me, it's like, this is basically the Sarcophagus of Light variant to Joey's cards, but I guess less...
Based around Dark Time Wizard, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's the comparison people have been going. If that's the case, I really hope Konami gives it as much support as they gave Shining Sark. There were many, many waves of Shining Sarcophagus. I will say that it is a little interesting that in Chaos Origins they said they would be focusing on decks that are more self-contained. Like there's, I think there's like 5 or 6 non-ritual main deck monsters in the Chaos or archetype they just released, right? This doesn't seem like it's quite there, but we'll see. Let's see, Insect Queen gains 200 attack for each insect on the field. Can't declare an attack unless you tribute one monster. That's the exact same effect as what's his face, as Panther Warrior, basically. Once returned to the end phase of this card, destroy an opponent's monster by battle this turn. You can special summon a insect token in attack position. So, yeah, you could probably retrain that. I mean, obviously there's Metamorphosis Insect Queen as well, but you could probably retrain this to, like, gain 200 attack for each card that mentions Dark Time Wizard on your board, kind of a thing, and give it the effect that it can't attack unless a monster's been tributed this turn, kind of a thing. But give it the ability to summon a token in your end phase could be useful for this deck, like giving you something alternative to scapegoats. But we will see. We will see what we're doing. So yeah, like I said, I kind of I like the concept of this Joey stuff as well. I love that we're getting a new Red Eyes fusion monster that's getting an overframe. Like, that's really sick. I do kind of feel like, as funny as this deck is, it is not nearly as pushed as, like, other archetypes have been, even nostalgia archetypes. Like, again, this is a deck that requires you to flip coins and roll dice and do it well. That's always going to be a tough sell in a competitive environment, but it's probably fun enough for the kitchen table, and like I said, I will probably experiment with this deck no matter what. It's just going to be the matter of combining it with the right stuff. You know, can you play some of the older Red Eye support to kind of get some synergy? Can you play it with some of the new Metalmorph stuff, maybe? Because the Metalmorph stuff is pretty low impact. It just shuffles itself back from your hand if you brick on it. And while I'm on the Wikipedia real quick, before we move to Destiny Heroes, let me look up the Guiltia Retrain Soul Spear, just to double check what his requirements are. Guiltia Soul Spear, the original Guiltia the Dark Knight's kind of nothing, but Guiltia Soul Spear is a really weird card that has been kind of useful. So let's see. No, it is specifically 1 level 5 Water Warrior, 1 level 6 Dark Machine, or 1 level 7 Dark Dragon. Damn. That's too bad.
Weird. It's a weird feeling.
Yeah, I mean, like, Soul Spear's been useful in other ones, and, like, I fucking play Soul Spear in my Metalmorph deck because he's a level 5 or higher warrior, so you can use him to summon Metal Flame Swordsman, and you can use him to add Red Eyes Black Dragon nails, you know? Because that's a level 7 Dark Dragon still. But it's really weird that, like, yeah, because Guiltia was done as, like, a Soul Spear was done as, like, a weird promo to, you know, give some synergy to cards in, like, a Legendary Collection. And also correct the fact that I think the original Vanilla Fusion is, like, a Dark Monster. No, it is a Light Monster. Oh, okay, funny. It's a light monster in the. They're saying it's the first light monster in the anime. So yeah, no, there's Soul Spear is just to give it its signature attack and making like an effect monster. So it's still an interesting card because you can normal summon it without tributing if you control no monsters, and then you banish a card your opponent controls that's non-targeting. It's just its search effect is not compatible because these guys are retrained to their manga levels. And how does the Guilty Gearfried fusion work? Because this deck does involve a lock to fusion monsters, so what you probably want to do is keep an eye out for fusion monsters you can play. Obviously, you can play Slash Dragon in this. That's a decent card. You can probably play Comet Black Dragon. Guilty Gear Freed. 2 warriors with different attributes. Well, if you play Red Eyes Gear Freed, and you play Legendary Fisherman, Fisherman the Legend of the Sea, you could hypothetically make that. I think you're just playing Poly in this deck right now, because there's no fusion spell, and Red Eyes Fusion sucks ass. I am actively telling you.
I agree with
as
you.
a man playing Red Eyes Fusion for like 6 years at least, I'm telling you, do not play Red Eyes Fusion in this deck.
Considering, like, there were already Hero Fusions, like, years before that, they could just summon from deck, right? They could use material cards from deck,
No,
right?
I think... No. Red Eyes Fusion was one of the first ones to let you use materials from deck. Like, that,
right, so
that is a thing that's, like...
In your opinion,
admittedly, that effect is, like, 10 years old.
If you could change the lock effect to something that actually would progress the game state, what would be fitting? Would it be more of like lock you to Red Eyes cards and then just actually do something beneficial?
I mean, I would probably just say, like, genuinely, it would probably not break the game if it just locked you to Dragon Fusions. Obviously, that's, like, broader than Red Eyes, but, like, you would not be playing... If you want to just play, branded, you would just play your one-of branded... Like, There are multiple Dragon Fusion decks, but there's no risk, I think, in making it so that you are locked to, like, if you don't just do what not Dark Time Is itself, but what Scapegoats does, lock you to fusion summoning from the extra deck. Like, that's there. The fact that it dead ends your plays completely is, like, really bad, because it means you can't have previously summoned, and you can't summon afterward. You can only set, and you're locked regardless of if it gets negated. It's one of those cards. So it's just a really bad target. And, like, I don't know, man. Like, hold on. Speaking of Branded Fusion, what is Branded Fusion's actual... Yeah, Branded Fusion is just fusion summon a fusion monster that mentions Fallen Valbaz from your extra deck, using 2 monsters from your hand deck or field straight up. You cannot special summon from the extra deck except fusions the turn you activate this card. So you're fusion locked. Red Eyes Fusion specifically is... I think Red Eyes Fusion is technically fusion summon any monster, just you have to use a Red Eyes as material. But yeah, like... Red Eyes Fusion, I think, was only ever, quote-unquote, good in the context of cheating it with Verte, which means you can't summon more monsters after it. Okay, no, yeah, Fusion, it says Fusion summon a fusion monster that lists a Red Eyes monster as material from your extra deck, using monsters in your hand deck or field as material. If you do, its name becomes Red Eyes Black Dragon. You can't normal or special other monsters the turn you activate this card. You can only activate 1 Red Eyes Fusion per turn. So, yeah, this was released in, what, 2015? Yeah, 2015. So this card is over 10 years old now. It just don't gotta be that way, kind of a thing. I'm
just curious, like, what
what I mean, honestly, if it was locked to just you needed to use a Red Eyes card as material, there shouldn't be any restrictions on it. Actually, I don't know what they were smoking. I guess they were still scared of Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon.
I say they do that, and it's like, what should be the second effect of the fusion card then?
Oh, I mean, like, just
a
fusion
actual effect.
I mean, honestly, fusioning from deck is good. Like, there's a reason why branded fusion only uses materials from deck, and it's a limit 1, right? Like, just being able to access your hand deck or field as material is good. Like, that would be useful to Red Eyes because, especially to this new Dark, because that lets you bin guys from Graveyard, right? Like, you can put vanilla Red Eyes in your deck. You don't need to worry about him being a brick. That is a problem that Red Eyes has that's not nearly as bad as Blue Eyes, but has been a problem, right? Your Red Eyes can be a brick. Several of the Dark Time Wizard guys want to be in Graveyard. Getting Warriors into Graveyard is good for Slash Dragon. Like, there's ways it would work. It's just, like I said, you may want to qualify it to just be, like, fusion summon a fusion monster, using materials from your hand or field as deck. If you are using a Red Eyes card as material, you can send it from your deck. That might, prevent too much genericization, because that would require you to play more Red Eyes cards. But honestly, you could probably just do Red Eyes monsters. That would lock out certain funny guys like Guilty Gearfried, but it's just a case where, as I said, I personally have always said that I think they should have done a invocation-style thing. Where, like, you can use your opponent's monsters in graveyard as material. And now, technically, you can kind of do that because you can use the Grave Robber trap card to summon him back. But you still need materials, so it's, yeah. Yes, no, that's what I said. Like, that's the only context that Red Eyes Fusion has been good in, because Verte does have a lock after it, but you cannot summon more monsters after the turn you activate that effect. So it replaces the effect. So it's you use it at the end of your combo. Also, fun fact, Neos Fusion is more new than, if you didn't know this, Neos Fusion is more new than Red Eyes Fusion. Neos Fusion is from 2019.
Not surprised.
And that just says, special summon a fusion monster from your extra deck that lists exactly 2 monsters in material, including an elemental hero, Neos, by sending those monsters from your hand, deck, or field and ignoring its summoning conditions. Neos Fusion needs a few more qualifiers because the Neos
it's like, I think the thing is just, like, I think the thing is, like, wasn't Red Eyes Fusion out during TOS?
I mean, it was out during TOS, but it's also it predates TOS. Like, it predates Link format. It's a 2015 card. It's from Clash of Rebellion.
Okay, then I think the thing was it came out, I think, like a year or two before its time.
Well, I mean, yes, in the sense that, like, they would have made it better later. It was, like, the first effect of its time. Let me check when normal Shadow Fusion was. Is there only one D in Shadow? Oh, well, that also probably is why we're not auto-completing, because it's got a temporary unavailable. The Wikipedia is struggling. But yeah, Shadow Fusion, I think, was after Red Eyes Fusion. Let's see, or first printing. Okay, no, so Shadow Fusion was first. It was in Duelist Alliance in late 2014. So we already kind of had the structure for it. I guess it's just that they wanted to, because the names on the Red Eyes Fusions are real fucked up. Like, you've got Black Skull Dragon, etc. They had to write it in a weird way, but I don't really know why they changed the requirements. Shadow Fusion came out in 2014 and just says, Fusion summon a Shadow Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material. If your opponent controls a monster that was summoned from the extra deck, you can also use monsters in your deck as material. So, like, it can just be poly, and then also has a going second clause, basically.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a few cases of, like, useful abilities. Ooh. Sorry, I should just mention a fun card. Fusion Duplication is a normal trap. Came out a couple years in Syac. Says, target a fusion or poly or normal or quick play in either graveyard, banish it. Apply that spell's effect when activated. You can activate 1 Fusion Duplication per turn. Okay, that's funny. That's funny. It's it's not unsearchable because it's a fusion card, but I don't know if it's searchable in this deck. That's a good one. I'm gonna remember that one though. I think there's something funny there. But yeah, no, like there's just Red Eyes Fusion was a little early. I can't say they didn't know what they were doing because, like, Shadow Fusion had existed for several months at that time, but that had a different sort of restriction. It's just outdated tech that, like, it's an outdated tech card that I don't know why Konami hasn't replaced, basically. REF was on the ban list for a while when they were struggling with the Dark Dragoon meta. They eventually just did get Verte, but they left REF on the list for a while. I don't know why they didn't try to come up with a retrain that makes those cards more functional. Especially now that, again, Dark Dragoon is more accessible than ever in a Dark Magician deck, because you play dragons in that too with Timaeus. Anyway, how long are we going? Like an hour? Hour and a half? Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Once again, I'm going to step away for a second, and then
I gotta
let's
go,
talk about
so...
That's fair, then. I kind of figured that would be about the time. So, Axel, step away. I'm going to take a break for a second. When I come back, I will run you through the new Destiny Hero stuff. And I'm sure Axe can tell me what he thinks in Discord later watching the VOD. So, I will be right back, chat. Let me deafen up in Discord just in case somebody jumps in while I'm gone. You never know. I might get reinforcements. It's very rare these days that I get reinforced. But it could happen. So here's my gone fishing to let you know that I'll be right back. And I will be right back. I could do a little cool gone fishing myself. Alright, we'll tab it off. Legendary fishing, yeah. Like I said, I do hope there's a little, whatchamacallit, like an Insect Queen edition, just for the sake of keeping it consistent. Because I think that should be all 3 of the big ones. Like, Legendary Fisherman, Insect Queen, Jinzo. Because we didn't, in the tournament finals, we didn't have the rules to take cards. So there's no man with the mark synergy. But also let's talk about return to our roots, our early phases of Failed Portrayal. We started with heroes. Let's talk about D-heroes. And like I said, these are a lot more pushed, a lot more put together, a lot more jamming. So first, Destiny Hero Death Dogma guy. Destiny Hero Death Dogma. I don't know if they'll call him that. They might have to call him something different. We'll see. Level 8 Dark Warrior special effect monster, 3,400 attack, 2,400 defense. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by banishing 3 warrior or dark monsters from your graveyard. You can only special summon Death Dogma once per turn this way. If summoned this way, you can activate this effect. Inflict 2,000 damage to your opponent during the next standby phase. And also, second effect, once per turn when your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, fusion summon a Dark or Warrior fusion from your extra deck by shuffling its material from your hand from your hand, field, or graveyard into the deck. So, this is basically the retrain of the original Destiny Hero Dogma. He is equipped with the Cyclone Blade. Dogma Guy was the original, tribute 3 monsters from your hand, including a Destiny hero, and then have your opponent's LP. He was a pretty nasty guy back in the day, but we've retrained him to be a little more playable. And I do like that they've got some visual elements from, like, Sartorius and stuff in there. They got some funny things. Blub blub. There are some neat things you can do here, and I like the quick effect fusion. And it's just So I'm pretty sure we'll double check, but I'm pretty sure these cards don't have any locks on them. So you can pepper them into like the Omni Hero type builds. You might be able to pepper them into like Evil Hero stuff as well. So next is Destiny Hero. His OCG name is Devil Lord Guy, but it's Destiny Hero Doomliege is probably the TCG name, because Devil Lord Guy sounds bad, and also, yeah. Shouldn't be showcasing that one. But this is a level 3 Dark Warrior, 600, 800. You can use this card's 1 and 2 effects once per turn. If this card normal or special, target monster opponent controls, banish it until the next standby phase, so it's a Farfa. And its second effect is you can send a Destiny hero from your deck to the graveyard, add a Clock Tower Prison or Clock Tower Prison City Dark City from your deck to your graveyard to your hand. You can't special summon for the rest of this turn except Dark Hero monsters. So this leaves you with D heroes, but also leaves you with a few other guys. I will say, I think this could be annoying, because I'm pretty sure you can use Death Dogma's effect to, like, quick effect make a Destroy Phoenix Enforcer on your opponent's turn. Yeah, so Doomlord was already a Farfa, but you cannot declare an attack the turn you activate its effect normally, so yeah, this guy's way better. So that's good, that's good, that's good. And it adds either the old Clock Tower Prison or the new one. We'll talk about Dark City in a second. But yeah, Destiny heroes actually get a field spell now. And then now we've got Destiny Hero, Dreadnought Servant, level 3 Dark Warrior effect, 400, 700. You can use each effect once per turn. If you control a Destiny hero, monster, or a face-up field spell, special summon this card from your hand. Then destroy one card you control if you do add a polymerization from your deck to your hand. Because we don't want you to play Fusion Destiny anymore. Fuck you. Speaking of fusion spells that are too good. If you special summon a level 8 Destiny hero monster, banish this card from your graveyard, target one card your opponent controls, put it on top of the deck. So, it's a good one. It's just a good extender, and like letting you pop guys to get poly, free extension. It's useful. We got a new fusion guy in addition to obviously Death Dogma being a big tough guy. We now have Fusion Dreadnought, Destiny hero Dreadnought guy. Level 8 Dark Warrior Fusion, question mark, 2800. 2 level 5 or higher Destiny heroes must either be fusion summoned, or special summoned from your extra deck by attributing a Destiny hero Dreadmaster. So this is the Dreadmaster retrain. You can only special summon Dreadnought guy once per turn this way, no matter which method you use. If this card is special summoned, add 2 Destiny hero monsters or cards that mention Destiny hero. A Destiny hero monster's card name from your deck to your hand. This card's attack becomes the total original attack of all other Destiny heroes on your field and graveyard. So this is a retrain of like I said, Dreadmaster, who was like an annoying Floodgate guy. And and he can be either tributed over Dreadmaster, or you can fusion summon him the normal way. Seems great. And then, of course, they got a new field spell. This is, of course, Clock Tower, Prison City, Dark City. They're probably going to change that slightly in the TCG. And this is a field spell. It has 3 effects. You can only use the 1 and 3 effect once per turn. If this card was activated this turn, you can add a Destiny Hero or a card that mentions a Destiny Hero's card name from your deck to your hand. Each time you special summon a level 8 or higher Destiny Hero, all warriors you control gain 300. If this card is destroyed, special summon a Destiny Hero from your deck. This is treated as a special summon with Clock Tower Prison. So, actually, that's a pretty good combo. So, the way this works is any asshole becomes stick any Destiny Hero, or just activate your field spell normally. Special summon Dreadnought Servant. Destroy a card you control. So destroy Dark City. Summon out Dreadmaster. Tribute Dreadmaster for Dreadnought guy. And then you also have a poly, so you can, fuse other stuff. Death Dogma's in your graveyard, so he's, a lot more free. It's a slim package, and there may be more. And, this is only, 5 cards. We are still doing a little bit of legacy support. But still, it's a strong one to run. Sorry, drinking water. It's hot. It's the hot season, Chad. But yeah, no, this, you are locked to Dark Heroes, but that's still so many things. Oh, sorry, I realized I was muted definitely Discord the whole time. Not that it matters. Nobody else showed up. But this is a fairly tight package that adds some new guys that are pretty fun to summon, and I kind of like that they found a way to retrain Clock Tower Prison, because that was basically like a weird freaky floodgate and not actually a good card for Destiny Heroes to play. I'm obviously a little concerned about Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. That guy, that's another guy that's he's still a fucking annoying card that I hate to see. You just don't see him because, heroes have moved on to different things. But there's still plenty of Dark Heroes. There's the, evil hero stuff, evil Neos, and so on. Oh, okay, Fusion Destiny is unlimited right now. Is it just because they fucking banished the card that draws you cards that we stopped playing Fusion Destiny? But yeah, it's Fusion Destiny. It's risky, I think, to uncap it, but there are decks that are better, and you do have more ways of playing around Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. Even if, obviously, Death Dogma gives you a way to, make him much easier. Yeah, no, you can also cheat a lot of dumb stuff. It could, here's the thing, Lothric, I'm saying. You could use this to make Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, but you don't gotta. You don't gotta do that. I don't... Yeah. The other cards are just as useful, and you can cycle it. I think I know the one you're talking about, Marth. I got dropped on me recently because Hero is back in because they had all the new Master Hero stuff. There is a like a 3-part Neos fusion that's just like, fuck you, you can't activate monster effect, and I'm just like, cool, great, I love this. So, like, DPE is not the worst thing you can make in this deck anymore. You can still make lots of Dark Laws. You can fucking, you know, Ab-Zero into Acid and shit on different turns. Yeah, I know you slipped in. You've been doing that a lot lately on FP. We are Cosmo Neos, thank you. We are wrapping up though. We're packing it in. This is a little bit of a shorter episode, but we had plenty of visitors, plenty of viewers. The Dark Hero? That's not right. The Destiny Hero package is a lot tighter than the Red Eyes stuff. And there wasn't really a lot to discuss about banlisto. And also, I'm hot. It's really fucking hot in here. But yeah, I want to say thanks everybody for tuning in and stuff. I noticed some people, you know, chatting about a few things in the sideboard here. Some people who are maybe new. If this is your first time seeing FP Fail Portrayal, like I said, we're doing this for quite a number of years, and this video is part of a playlist that you can find. So, I mean, actually, it should be right at the top of my playlist list. So, yeah, there's, here, I'll dump it in the, I can, in fact, drop it right in the live stream chat, but, there are, counting this one, 222 Fail Portrayal videos. It has almost 3,000 views on the playlist alone. Sorry, I'm looking at the total views for playlists, and some of those are fucking correct. Over 25k views on the Let's Talk playlist. That's nuts. But yeah, if you haven't realized our backlog, we started with Heroes, and so we're wrapping up our most recent episode with Heroes. So feel free to check that out. If you want, you can support us on Patreon at the $5 or higher level. I'm sure that link is in the description as well. To vote on one FP poll to be picked per month. And I promise you, now that you've done it, we will not do another Fiendsmith episode. But also, I want to do a little plug. I'm pretty sure. Let me check. But I am pretty sure it is in the description of this video. Our Discord link. Yeah. Unlucky's in 14 right now. I already did a front lines. Like I said, I'm kind of hot. I'm cool to not do anything after this. But yeah, what I was gonna say is there's a link to our Discord in the description of this video. You should check it out because Lucky is going to be streaming on Discord some Neverness to Everness pulls when that ends maintenance later. So, you know, you should, if you're interested in that, you should jump on our Discord. And check us out tomorrow when we will be streaming Final Fantasy XIV as well. I want to thank everybody for checking it out. The dual stream thing seems to have worked okay, so yeah, that's cool. I don't know if that'll be any good for other stuff, but we'll keep it up. I want to thank everybody for watching out and, you know, seeing all the stees. And, yeah, I guess this has just been Fail Portrayal. Don't forget to shoot this video a like. And check out other videos in the playlist, and I'll see y'all later. Bye now, gang.